Should you go to a college to learn the music business? What's up, guys? Brandon here from KDMR Music, the channel that teaches you how to succeed in the music business. So if this is your first time here, we do videos every single week about music marketing, music strategy tips, and tips on how you can learn the music business in videos just like this one. So if you're interested in that type of content, then hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out. Now, a question that I get fairly often is, what's the best way to learn the music business? And there are so many offers online for these music business degrees. And so it's like, okay, well, is it worth it to get a music business degree? And the answer is, of course, it depends, but probably not, right? So I'm going to go through some pros and cons of getting a music business degree. And then I'm going to talk about my experience with music business school and, why I ultimately dropped out of a music business degree program. And then I'll let you make the decision for yourself. So let's start with the positives. Now, in a good music business degree program, you're going to get a couple of things. One, you're going to get structure. Now, the music industry is one of those industries that's so mystical that there's a lot of information out there that's just completely wrong. And there's so much information out there that is completely outdated. And unless you're on the inside, it's very hard to know what's what. And so the structure that comes along with going and pursuing a music business degree program where they say, start here, go here, then here, now here's your degree, right? That structure is really helpful and it gives you a set path to take if music industry is your interest. So that's number one, the structure and roadmap that you get from a music business degree program, or really a degree in any field. That's one of the major draws to it. Number two, the camaraderie. Right? Now, the great thing about college in general is that, depending on what your major is, you are immediately going to be pushed into a group of like-minded individuals with similar interests, similar likes, dislikes, and there's different organizations and there's bonds that you guys can create or you guys can forge from your common interest, which is the music industry in this case. And my experience was no different. I was enrolled in a master's or the MBA program, the Master's in Business Administration, with a concentration in music business from Berklee Online. And what I loved about my music business courses was that everybody in the class had some sort of interest in the music industry. There were some, like myself, who were artist managers. There were others who were in the tech space, and there were even more who maybe were just artists themselves and just wanted a bit of a roadmap for success. So it was really cool because we're all not just, on campus or whatever, right? But we are all locked in, super focused. You ever had a group project and one person just doesn't want to do any work? Well, that wasn't the case in music business school because everyone wanted to make it. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was not alone in my interest to pursue a music career. And that was really cool. So that's another pro of going to a music business college or doing a degree program online in music business. And we'll round it out with three pros. The last pro in a good music business program is the connections inside the music industry. Now, again, I mentioned that I went to Berklee Online. And what's amazing about Berklee College of Music is all of the professors, especially in their online courses, have real world music industry experience. I took classes from people like Mike King and Chandler Coyle, who even now are really big on the independent side. We got hands-on experiences. We got Skype calls with people like Benji Rogers, who was the founder of Pledge Music, and Chris Moon from Noise Trade. So there were a lot of people who we got real live experience and help from who were actually very well connected in the industry. So if you wanted to take those connections and do something with them later, you could. And that was an amazing benefit. We learned so much about new technology and new ideas and new business models that were taking over the industry at the time. And that is going to lead us to our cons, right? So one con of joining a music business degree program is just that the times change so quickly. Often they change quicker than the curriculum, which means you're taking classes, and then by the time you're done with the class, the information is outdated. A lot of the music industry right now is at this intersection of the music and tech space, and technology changes so rapidly, it's very difficult to create a curriculum or courses around it to help people understand it. Instead, what we have to do is kind of teach a general business sense and then apply music on top of it. And to be honest, you don't need a music business degree to have general business sense. I could sum it all up in about 4 books, right? And so that was con number 1. Con number 2 is the cost. Music business degrees cost a ton of money, right? And unfortunately, most music business degrees are probably not in your home state. You've probably got to do something like Full Sail or Berklee or, Belmont Abbey, whatever school you may have to go to for their music business program. You'd have to relocate to do that unless they have an online program. But even if they do, then you're paying out-of-state tuition. So this music business degree can easily cost you up to $20,000 a year to get. And that is no fun, right? And when you think about the amount of debt that you'd have to get into in order to get a music business degree, and then remember it's a music business degree and there's not that many jobs going around, then you got to wonder, is the cost worth it? And that's a legitimate question, right? So con number 2, the price. Often the price just does not make sense for what you'll be getting in return. And con number 3 is, well, this is the music industry. And in the music industry, there are a lot of snakes, and it's very hard to tell what's good and what's not. For every amazing music business degree program there is, right, off the top of my head, I can name 2, maybe Berklee Online and NYU, right? Of those schools, for every one of those, there's a ton of schools that are offering some sort of music industry certificate that's not going to really get you anything. You won't get a job from it. It's not going to teach you skills that are transferable in any way. And you're just going to learn about things that happened in the 50s and 60s that you're not even going to find relevant, right? And so it sucks because, music business colleges are just kind of a microcosm of normal colleges, right? Traditional colleges will promise you the idea or the prospect of getting a nice job. And a lot of these music industry schools or music and recording schools will sell you the same dreams. And they don't have the support systems in place to really help you follow through with that. So this kind of goes right in with number 2, but you're not going to get a bunch out of a music business degree unless you put a lot into it. And that's kind of the story with college in general. I mean, if you've got the money laying around, if you got $60, $80, $100,000 laying around and you're not the type of person who's a go-getter and you need some sort of a structure to get started, then have at it. But the reality is, if you are not a go-getter or a self-starter, you're not going to do well in the music business because there's no clear-cut path in the music business. This industry is evolving every single day. So, I mean, just from listening to me, you probably know what side of the fence I'm on. But I'll tell you a little bit about my experience and why I decided that music business school was not for me. It was 2013. The year was 2013, and I enrolled in Berklee Online with the actual degree portion coming from Southern New Hampshire University, and I was doing really well. But the reality is, it was a business degree with a little bit of music attached to it, right? And so, I was an undergrad. I was a business major in undergrad as well, so I was familiar with the courses, and business degrees can be very, very, very boring, right? But no worries. I had my music electives to, kind of smooth it out, make it more fun, more interesting, and so I did that. And I was actually doing very well. Then I got married. And when you're married and you're working a full-time job, grad school is just a lot to throw on top of that. It's a huge transition. So I took a break. Well, during the time when I took that break, there was a class that was being offered. It was called Online Music Marketing with Topspin, which was a music direct-to-fan sales platform. It also allowed you to build websites. Basically, it was a merch shop, and they would fulfill the orders for you. And I was really excited about taking that class. I'd signed up for it in the next semester. Then I decided to take a little leave of absence. During my leave of absence, Topspin just dissolved. It was no more. All of a sudden, the class wasn't offered anymore. And I was thinking, well, if things are changing this quickly, by the time I'm done with this degree in 2 years, how much further behind will I be? And it was right then and there that I decided I am not going to finish this degree. I am not going to pay the remaining $60,000 it's going to take for me to finish this degree. I'm just going to learn everything I can on my own, and I'm going to actually go out and meet and network and talk to people in the industry who are doing what I aspired to do one day. Which, by the way, is how 98% of the people in the music industry got their start. Right? Think about it. Jay-Z, Diddy, Chance the Rapper, anybody who's anybody in the music industry just kind of got started. There was no music business degree program when we were crafting superstars, right? Like, think about the people who were behind Britney Spears and NSYNC and NWA. None of these people had music industry experience. They just found a product and started to sell it, and they learned as they went. And that's what you're going to be able to do as an independent musician as well. So, that's my story with Music Business College, and that's why I didn't finish or didn't go or continue, and it's why I don't recommend it to most people. But even with that said, there are a lot of benefits. There are a lot of pros. If you're in a town where there is no music industry at all, then those connections that you build in a music business degree program can be worth it. They can be worth their weight in gold, right? So I could never say, oh, never go to college for music business. But understand, if you are not someone who is willing to put in the work, make the effort to get those results, then you're going to end up wasting a ton of time and money. There is no easy button. Getting a degree in music business is not going to make anything easier for you. Just understand that it's going to give you a different path than someone else. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what your experience has been with music industry schools. Did you take a class at Full Sail and think you were going to be a rock star and it didn't happen? Right? Let me know in the comments below. And make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next one. I will see you in another video very soon. Peace.